We're going to look at how to draw support resistances. In the past, a lot of the support resistances have been much stronger. In this current market, especially like when price always changes in different market conditions depending on the year or the month, support resistances can show up really differently, and you want to be able to adapt to how to draw them, because by knowing how to draw them, you're essentially looking at knowing these stronger areas to take either rejections, breakouts, to use it as confluences in your trades. So this is exactly how I draw my support resistances. I do this pretty much every morning. So I like blank out my chart and then I start afresh, because a lot of the levels do change overnight. I like to use the 1 hour time frame as of this moment for support resistances. I used to use the weekly time frame, but in this market it's not working, so I kind of adapted to this. What you want to notice with how price moves is like, where is current price? I have this highlighted. It's a setting you have, like it just shows how it moves, the closing time of the candle. But essentially this is all I look at when I draw these levels. So usually, like, you want to look at the most obvious areas of price. So support resistances are essentially just areas where price gets like, it's like a magnet. Price goes to it and then sometimes it hits a couple times and you will see massive rejections. So that could be really bullish moves or really bearish moves. Obvious ones, of course, are like resistance areas. Right now, when I create these levels, I'm really just marking them as like, okay, which areas, like wherever that high is created, like if you kind of zoom in, I'm just looking at an approximate area. This is just at first glance. I kind of do a deeper dive into how to adjust it. But as of right now, like I'm just pointing out where it's at. So I identify all-time highs as a big resistance. You can already see double rejection, push down. Other areas of rejection, like this is a really obvious bearish movement. So this is actually like an area of support resistance. And then if you look to the right, like in more recent weeks, we see that price came up to it. Price is no longer coming to the exact peak of it. So sometimes price gets closer and then rejects. So this is, I would say, like that high and that high. That's like a high that is continuously being respected. I kind of just join it with any kind of level I see to the left. Then you go down some more, like there's other ones here, like this is another peak, which even to the right, you see like that rejection, this gap down. You kind of move your mouse. As I'm moving my mouse, like this line that's on my mouse, I'm just moving slowly. And then anytime I see like across the board where price keeps coming to an area multiple times, that's a level I'm just gonna have there and mark. Like this one here, I wouldn't say it's the strongest just because like this is really far in the past. And then if you look here, very choppy movement. So at one point this was a support resistance, but in more recent weeks, if you just get a lot of choppiness through it, and if you just look at this area, like, do we see any rejection here? No. So like that's an example where the support resistance was strong in the past, but now it's not relevant. So you don't want to draw something that's not relevant for your trading. You move down, this is a level, but again, choppy. So you go down, there's a lot of ugly levels. And so I'm moving everything down. Also pay attention to where current price is. The support resistances nearby are usually the more important ones. Stuff all the way here is like further away. So by the time price gets there or something, like maybe it's not as strong. You'll see it, or you'll pay attention to these areas when you need them. It's more so like what areas are here that are more important. So here, like I'm moving everything, very choppy market here. This I would say is a strong support resistance. Just it's nothing here, but again, a lot of these movements you want to focus on more recent price action, because the later it was created, it could be months ago, a year ago, whatever. If you don't see a lot of consistent rejections in probably the most recent 2 to 3 months, it's likely not something you're going to have to mark. So usually after all this choppiness, I tend to just focus on the past 2 to 3 months of movement on the 1 hour, and that's where I kind of hone in on those levels to mark. Based on everything here, I'm kind of just going to ignore everything to the left, but focus on this area. So we can see prices right here. This is an area of rejection. Again, price is not always respected in this market. It could come kind of close to it, start going higher. It could wick at it, do a fake out and push downward. With all these levels, you're still waiting for other confirmations that open to trade. So this is more just to understand the area as you trade and use them, there's like a different technique to apply your breakouts or trades there. If you look lower, like this is probably one of the more obvious levels here. So you see how price is consolidating. This of course is a low. So this is like some kind of low of that day. This is an overnight low. So that is a new support level. And then down here, you see a lot of all these movements. Even down here, this is another really obvious area. So here, that rejection to go higher, this one's a little close, but you see all these consistent rejections. So this is a really strong support resistance, and you tend to get that like near each other. So like in choppier movements like this, sometimes you get back-to-back support resistances. You will have outliers. So like here, it comes like in the center. I don't mark it because like what other level do you have? That's like the only one. So you want to look at areas where you have at least 2 rejections. If you don't have minimum 2, then it's just an area that you don't know what's going to happen later on there. So after I get kind of like a blueprint of like these main areas, then I do a deeper dive. So in this case, like when we zoom in, okay, let's look at this one because this one's kind of weird. When you look at these levels here, support resistances, the market's open right now, by the way, like price is moving, but we're all the way like in the center here. So these levels don't really matter at this point because, by the time it reaches there, it could be end of day. Or like based on your edge, I trade the open. So usually if nothing happens in that first hour, like these things don't really matter. Like it probably will matter the next day because price will likely gap up here or gap down, which it tends to do that. So when we're here and we want to mark, okay, where are these support levels? So all this stuff here, very inconsistent. The more inconsistent here, like the movement, you really just zoom in. You zoom in closer and closer to the candles, and this is where you get your better, more accurate ranges of movement, and you know exactly like this high and this low to connect, because now you can really see the candlestick highs and candlestick lows. You want to see like, okay, this is also consolidating right there. So this is a mini consolidation in between support resistance. So then when you're looking at this, you want to see, all right, where do I see the most consistent or obvious wicks at? Because a lot of them are like little fake outs, I just like to use the main range. I don't like when stuff is like super wide because that is a huge movement. I want my range of the zone as tight as possible. And sometimes it's going to be like really, really tight. So like that. This is something that I would mark for myself, like this wick low and that wick, just because, I mean, all this movement comes closer, but where are we seeing the most consistent in the other wicks to the right? Like all these kind of go through. So it tells me this area here is where the rejection is likely to happen because price react the most. Price did not really react up here the most. It did here, but then you go into that huge range. So how can I make my zones as tight as possible with areas where the most movement has really occurred in them? So that's like something I would mark there. Something down here, the support resistance, like mentioned here, there's a bit of stuff there, but all this stuff you can see, it's not really a strong movement anyways. So then you look here, nothing, then you focus on this. So every time you see to the left, like even if it is kind of recent price action, if it's not really gonna reject in the past, you wanna look at what happened in the prior week. And in this case, this is more of a straightforward zone because you are essentially just marking a low, which is that lowest point, and then you mark this part there. I would just mark it as that because all these levels here, this is a pre-market low, this is an overnight low. So because this is already rejected, this is like a double bottom, and you can see that price gapped up anyway. So it's like essentially it already reversed overnight here, which shows us this is a strong support. And then the last one that's important to current price is the one right below. So this movement here, you can see there's a lot more rejection back further. So you have this area, and again, if you mark it to like whatever level you see, it's gonna be wider sometimes, and like it depends on the day. This to me is like pretty wide. You see how like you see if it's squished, it looks like all right, it's fine, but you really zoom in, that is a pretty large zone. Again, I want to have the area tightened. So in this case, like I'm not gonna connect this high because that's like the outlier. I want it to be as low as possible. So like where do I see the most stuff going on? Sometimes like it'll be, I see all these wicks, but then that would be a large range. Can I shorten it to like here where there's more, like price is already going to fake out, so I would rather have my zone closer to the main movements of the candles. So in this case, you can see like it's already like rejecting the area, a lot of fake outs. I don't want to be in a breakout here or a fake out to enter calls. So I want to enter where price actually is already going to show me weakness here. So I want to see like, all right, how do I avoid these fake outs? Only trade below an area where there's more consistent bearishness. So here, this is where I would mark it. I'm just marking it kind of based on these wicks here, and then where all these wicks had rejected there. So this is much tighter than the one previously that is like way too wide. All these things kind of just come together when you draw these levels. And again, it's all based on 1 hour time frames. If you understand how to mark them on the 1 hour, that's pretty much all you need. You can use the other time frames, but all these other time frames are just too large sometimes, and you don't get those intricate movements. And just based on if you scalp the morning open or you trade and you trade the shorter periods of trades, like your trades aren't going to be, if your trades aren't the whole day and you're not holding it for hours, you really don't need to be looking at all these massive time frames because you're only getting a tiny little move in the day. So this is what I suggest you to do. Go back after this video, mark your levels, practice marking these support resistances, and you want to practice what you've just learned. Once you watch this tutorial, you go and practice. If you don't practice right away, you're probably going to forget like what you just learned, and then you're wasting your time if you're not applying stuff that's really fresh in your mind.